battle against terror that started on October 7th continues to intensify with each passing day. The IDF is currently operating in the heart of Gaza City, pounding every terror den. They have pounded every terror den, and Israel has refused calls for ceasefire and warned those siding with Hamas. And during their operation in northern Gaza, several tunnels and other tunnel infrastructure have been unearthed. But the fight is not just in the heart of Gaza, but a multi-front war it is. The IDF has also struck Hezbollah's infrastructure in Lebanon time and again. A number of Hezbollah targets in Lebanese territory in response to firing have been destroyed by Israel. Now, the country has made it clear that there is no possibility of a ceasefire at this point of the war.
We're continuing with our activities in the north of Gaza primarily. We're discovering tunnels, the shafts that are going into the tunnel system. We're dealing with that. It's a slow process, and we're doing it surely. No, absolutely not. Right now, there is no ceasefire. We are opening up humanitarian windows.
We are talking at a time when there is a propaganda war going on, and this is in the backdrop of what's happening in Gaza. IDF has launched Operation Iron Swords. IDF troops are on the ground taking out Hamas terror infrastructure, but a lot has been said and written about it. I want, with your help, to decode this and to put this in the right context. Now, your organization, the Shura Tadin, aims to bring forth lawsuits against Hamas. It aims to initiate legal proceedings against them and expose them using legal means. Now, Ms. Leitner, tell us more about the blueprint that you have in mind.
Well, we all know that the one that funded Hamas and supported it was Qatar, was Iran. Our organization has been suing and bringing lawsuits against state-sponsored terrorism, and this is what we intend to do now. We are going to bring a lawsuit against the Qatari institutes that funded the entire war machine. Hamas gave $30 million a month to Qatar, gave $30 million a month to Hamas in cash, in oil worth, in taxes. Qatar, with his Qatari Foundation, funding all the charities in Gaza, which are embedded with Hamas. Qatar also hosts the leaders of Hamas in its country. Qatar is the one to blame in the whole war here, and she needs to pay. We are collecting, gathering victims that were killed during the war, and on their behalf, we're going to sue Qatar. In addition, we're going to sue Iran. Iran is funding Hamas. Iran sends weapons to Hamas. Iran is the one that trains the Hamas terrorists, either in its territories or in Gaza or in Lebanon, and it's to blame as well, and we are going to sue them as well. And if I can go forward, we have other institutes that we know funded Hamas, and we are going to sue them as well. You have to understand that Hamas was able to create a monster, to create a whole city underground, to manufacture tons of missiles and rockets, to import a lot of weapons that they utilized against Israel in October 7th in a tremendous massacre that haven't seen since the Holocaust. They could not have done it without money, without ton of money that made its way in this way or another to the Gaza Strip. And now all those who funded this operation will pay.
Now, Ms. Leitner, we'll come to the October 7 attack by Hamas, in just a bit, but there's another question that I want to slip in very quickly. Now, speaking legally, there are those who are on the Palestinian side of the divide on this, and they claim that Israel's attack, the counter-strike by IDF in Gaza, which have resulted in more than 12,000 casualties, amount to a war crime and is against the principles of the Geneva Convention. How are you seeing this claim?
We have to remember who started this whole war. That was Hamas savages that went into Israel and massacred 1,400 people. They They murdered them. They burned them alive. They dismembered them. They beheaded them. They raped the women. They acted like subhuman animals. And then they kidnapped 200 citizens, not soldiers, citizens, into the Gaza Strip. Now, Israel had to defend itself. And Israel swore to eliminate Hamas because Hamas swore to destroy the state of Israel. Hamas was almost successful in its doing unless the IDF went and blocked them. So now Israel is in a war against a terror organization that wants to destroy, that wants to massacre its people. The way to do it is to go and kill them in Gaza. The problem is that Hamas surrounds himself with civilians. He used women, children, elderly as human shields. Now, Israel cannot back off just because Hamas surrounds himself with human shields, which is a violation of the international law. It's a violation of the Geneva Convention. What Israel does, and this is its obligation according to law, is to warn the civilians to vacate the area. The IDF throw leaflets towards Gaza and tell them to go away from the northern part of it to the southern part of it. He calls people. The IDF make phone calls to the residents in Gaza, warn them to vacate the area. And indeed, you can see that 1.7 million people from the northern part of the Gaza Strip made all its way, walked, and left the area towards the southern part of the Gaza Strip. Now, the IDF is striking, and is striking back, and is striking very, very bad, because Hamas used all the houses, all the residential areas, kindergartens, schools, hospitals, as their headquarters, as a place to manufacture weapons, as a place to shoot missiles and to host launchers.